Randy.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. I just have a few questions for you in regards to the program Exposed that you've been in for the past year. As I ask you these questions, I just want you to face the camera and just kind of answer these questions just clear and concise and to the point as possible. Okay? What part of your life, if any, has been changed because of knowledge learned and exposed?
I would say my realization towards life, or as getting stuff ready for college and putting down goals and getting them, well, making a plan that can be reasonably established.
Okay. All right. Have you developed or improved any relationships because of techniques, methods, or information given or discussed and exposed, i.e., teacher, student, friend, parent-child relationships? Would you like me to repeat the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you developed or improved any relationships? I mean, has anything that you've learned and exposed allowed you to use the methods that we've taught, sort of like the I statements and the we statements, diversity training? Has any of that helped you improve in your relationships?
I would say to a certain extent the student teacher, because now I talk to my teachers more about assignments and um, projects that I need to get done. I go to them for more input and help.
If you could discuss in detail the ultimate lesson that you learned by having the opportunity to take part in this program, if there is one thing that you can pull out of this whole experience that you've had with Exposed and College Tour, what would you think that would be?
I would say setting goals, because that's always been a major thing to me that I have seen in Exposed. Because you are always, well, the directors always emphasize the importance of setting goals and just finding out ways to accomplish things that you want to accomplish in life.
Okay. What I want you to do on this, and I want you to face the camera, and I want you to think about if somebody gave you the opportunity to stand in front of a crowd of parents and students and sell them on the program or explain to them about the program, the college tour and all of it. I just want you to face the camera and, tell me, what would you say to them? How would you explain what you do every Tuesday and every spring break?
Okay, Exposed is a great program to be in. They help you with directors of Exposed help you with many life skills that you need to have in life just to make it. Every Tuesday we come to Exposed, and the students really don't know what's going to go on. We just sort of get a surprise, but the directors always have something planned out for us. I think it's good that we do our introductions, because it helps you to come over fears of speaking in front of people if you have that fear. Also, about the college tour, every spring break there's a college tour. I've only been on one of them, and it was great. I liked it a lot, and we went to the college campuses, and the things I liked most about it was how we broke down into groups for preferred majors, and we just talked to facilitators about things that we need to know for their school. I like that a lot.
Okay. Now, this is going to be kind of hard. You got to stretch yourself and imagine, but I just want you to imagine yourself being a parent, okay? And you have a child, and your child's in high school, and your child has the opportunity to come to Expose and attend a college tour. What would be, you think, the most important thing that you would want them to get from that experience? What would you want them to bring from Exposed and the college tour that would help them in life?
I would like for them to bring back a realization of what college life is like and the things that they need to do to make it through college. Just the steps they need to take to be successful in college. I would like for them to understand that in the best way possible.
Okay. All right, and I got one last question here.
Okay.
In light of all the good things that we do here at Exposed and the college tour, I know that there's some things that we miss out on simply because we don't know. So I want to know, what are some topics or a particular topic that were not covered and exposed that you think would better prepare you for college, life, or your career?
Um, Maybe study skills. Yeah, because not everyone knows how to study in the right way. Even though people study in different ways, there are still like the key factors that you need to know in studying. Maybe you can cover that.
All right, Brandon, thank you for your time. You have a nice day.
Oh boy.
Hello, Miss Nima. How are you doing today? That's excellent. That's excellent.
You're so special.
I know. I have a list of questions here that I'm going to ask you. And when I ask you these questions, I just want you to face the camera and audibly give your response if you don't mind. Are you ready? Miss Nima, what part of your life, if any, has been changed because of knowledge learned and exposed?
No part of my life has really been changed. Well, there's no joy in my life now, but nothing's really been changed. I just gained some knowledge. And with the knowledge,
Yes, please.
I've,
Can you speak up?
I've gained the knowledge about school, and there's more options than going to a white school. There's black schools out there that can offer you the same thing, and probably more opportunities.
Okay. All right, my next question for you, speak up please. Have you developed or improved any relationships because of techniques, methods, or information given or discussed and exposed?
I've improved my relationship with my mom and my little sisters and my friends.
I remember one time you had a problem with your brother and we kind of
Yeah, I
talked about
improved
that.
that too.
Did you improve it?
Yeah.
How did you improve your relationship with your brother?
We communicate better.
You would communicate better.
Yeah, we don't fight all the time anymore.
Just some of the time?
Just some of the time, but not all the time.
Not all the time. Okay. Just curious. All right. Now I'd like for you to discuss in detail the ultimate lesson that you learned by having the opportunity to take part in this program. I'm explaining that because it sounds to be a little tricky. But if there was one lesson that you can say, man, from coming to Expose every week, from going on the college tour, if there's one big thing that I've learned from all this, what would that one big thing be?
I mean, like, I don't know, for real.
Let me give you an example. Okay. I guess the one thing that I've learned from working with Expose, from designing the program and recruiting the students and doing the college tour, contacting all the people dealing with the college tour, the one thing that I learned is that there's no door that's closed permanently. You know, I mean, our exposure closes a lot more doors than are really closed. And all we got to do is get out there and test the waters, be willing to go beyond our fears, and then we'll realize that the doors aren't actually closed, they just look that way because of our expectancies, how we think that things are supposed to be, and they're not really that way. I mean, is there any part of that you can relate to? I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I can relate to the fact that, like, when I come here, I feel like I can do anything. Like people used to tell me, like, you can't do that because it might not be offered to you or something like that. But when you come here, you learn, hey, maybe that is offered to me or something. You know what I'm saying? You learn that you can do anything as long as you apply yourself.
So like Superwoman.
Yeah. You can do anything as long as you apply yourself. And you always, you know what I'm saying? Like when you hear, always get somebody standing behind you, pushing you to do what you think you can't do.
Okay. That's good. That was good. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the next one, since you're such a good actress, I want you to act out something for me.
Why look at that?
Well, I just want you to look at the camera. I want you to pretend the camera is a crowd of parents and students. And what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that you're presenting to them Exposed and the Maximum Exposure College Tour. How would you present Exposed and the Maximum Exposure College Tour to this group of parents and students out here?
It probably would just be me. It'd be me and some pictures.
Okay.
Have a billboard full of all the fun things that we do. The hotels and the shopping and the schools, the different things we explore, the eating out, spending time together, talking, just chilling. That's probably what I do.
So, okay,
Tell
you show them
everybody
all of that. What would you tell them?
that this is a wonderful opportunity for people to learn more things about going to college and scholarships and money that's there. And it's interesting. You make a lot of new friends.
Now, I want you to stretch yourself a little bit more.
More?
Yeah, real more. Okay. I want you to imagine that you're Diane Gaither Thompson. Okay.
Whoa.
Imagine you're a parent. Okay. And your child has an opportunity to take part in Exposed and Maximum Exposure College Tour. Now, there are expectations that your child has, of course, but I want to know what your expectations as a parent would be. What would you want your child to get out of the Maximum Exposure College Tour, out of going to Exposed every week?
Hmm. Well, I want my child to get the opportunity to meet people and to experience new things. I know. What else am I saying? To gain a whole new knowledge of what's out there. You know what I mean? Cause like when you're in school, they don't tell you what's out there for you to do. But when you hear it, and you learn all about it.
Well, part of the reason for that Exposed is exactly that. I mean, it's introducing you to new cultures, new educations, new mindsets that you're not normally exposed to. And that's why we chose the name Exposed. So, I mean, I guess then you would want them to really take part in the essence behind the name. And that's just excellent. Okay. Now, last question. All right. I know that there are a lot of things that you've done with Exposed and College Tour that you've enjoyed a lot. And I'm sure that we covered some topics that you may or may not have liked so well. But what I want to know right now, because we're always trying to make this program better, what are some topics that we may not have covered that you feel are important as far as your career, your education is concerned?
Nothing really. I think everything you talked about is what I want to talk about. I don't think we ain't really missed nothing. No.
So you can't think of anything that we need to add?
I think we should just improve what we got.
Improve what we got. Okay, that's excellent. Thank you, Ms. Gaither Thompson, for your time. And you have a nice day.
When we gonna get the watch?
I don't know.
What you gonna do with them?
We're going to be sitting with Micah Player, and we're going to be asking Micah a series of questions. Micah is a senior. Well, actually, he just graduated. He graduated, and he's on his way to Ohio State University. So what we're going to do is just going to ask you these questions, and we just want you to address the questions to the camera, okay? All right. What part of your life, if any, has been changed because of knowledge learned and exposed?
All of it, but mostly things dealing with school, education-wise, because Exposed is a school-based program, and they get you college prep, teach you things about school, speaking in front of people, things like that, a lot. Because, I mean, just the little things like when y'all tell us to go up there and introduce ourselves and say we're going to be later on in life and stuff like that, that gets you prepared. I mean, you don't think about it, but when something happened in school, you got to give a speech or something like that, it helped, but you really don't pay no attention to it at first. But then you think back and say, yeah, that really worked. I'm glad he showed me. I'm glad he did that.
Have you developed or improved any relationships because of techniques, methods, or information given or discussed and exposed?
Yeah, I can say that. Especially teacher-student relationships, because at the end of my senior year in school, I was having problems with this math teacher, and his name was Mr. Neighborhouse. And I didn't really know how to. He had been my math teacher all throughout high school, and for some reason this year was different because it seemed like he was harder on me, or he didn't like me for some reason, something. And the people in Exposed taught me how to come to somebody with a legitimate argument and sit down and talk to them like civilized people instead of, just doing like what some kids do, just hollering at the teacher or skipping a class or dropping out of their class or whatever. And it was a lot of kids at my school doing that, and we teachers was filing lawsuits about kids choking them or punching them, throwing chairs, because it's wild at Aikman. And I didn't want to go there, so I just handled it the way they told me to handle it and the way I thought I should and what I learned from them, and it worked. Because I couldn't have, I don't know, I really needed them credits for his class, and he said I was failing, but I talked to him after school, I stayed after school, I did the work and everything, did what I had to do, and it came through and I graduated, so I'm just glad it's over.
Congratulations, man. Okay. Next, what I want you to do is discuss in detail the ultimate lesson that you've learned by having the opportunity to attend Expose. If there was one thing that sticks out in your mind that just impacted you as far as the Expose and the college tour is concerned, what do you think that would be?
Work now, play later, or play now, work later.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. Next question. If you were given an opportunity to address a group of students and their parents and try to encourage them to become a part of Expose and the college tour, face the camera and tell the camera what would it be? What would you tell them? You don't know.
I didn't really know about Expose. I just got involved with it through the church, and I came here for Bible study one Tuesday. And I was looking for the room, but I came in the wrong room, and I seen a lot of kids sitting down, and y'all was talking to them, and I listened for a minute and heard what y'all talking about. So I sat down and said, I guess I'll stay in here. And I came back the next Tuesday and it just developed from there. I can't. It's a good program. I mean, I advise anybody to, come see what it's like, see if they like it, because I mean, it can't hurt. What you got to lose? All it is just help.
I want you to imagine yourself being a parent, and your child has an opportunity to come to Expose. What do you think the one thing that you would want your child to learn from that relationship? I mean, what do you think you want them to get from coming to Expose?
Get the most out of school, because education is everything. My mom used to tell me that when I was little, and I never really did think about it, and it didn't sink in to now, because I see a lot of people out there, and some of my friends, they dropped out from high school, and they can't get a job. I mean, you gotta want something out of life, and build from there. I'm saying they can get a job, but it'd be like at White Castle or something, and that'd be just for now. And they'll be up at there for like 3 years, and they'll be satisfied with that. Still living with their mother, and they like 21, 22 years old. I can't do that. I don't know about them, but I'm just saying, if you do graduate from high school, that's good, but you still gotta go to another level. College, some people take college the wrong way. They don't really know what it's all about, because they see what their friends doing, and they tend to do that, because it do kind of influence you and affect you about what your friends doing. If they don't want to go to college, then you probably might not go, and stuff like that. Because I had thoughts like that, but my mom, she helped me a lot, and I listen to what she said a lot more now, because I see some of the things she told me earlier on in life. They starting to come real to me now. I mean, I see what she talking about. I see what she going through, taking care of the kids and everything. And I try to be as much help as I can and do the best that I can, because I know that's what she want out of me. And I don't want to end up like some of my friends did, because I see what they going through, and I learn from their mistakes as well as mine. So.
The last question. I know that you talked about some of the positive things that you got out of Exposed, but I want to know that if there was anything that you wish we could have covered. You're getting ready to go off to college, and it's going to be kind of late for you to try to recoup some of this information. But is there anything that you wish we would have covered here in Exposed that would have better prepared you for maybe college or your career or later on in life?
I think I pretty much covered everything except for finances, because there was a lot of things I didn't know about, like paying for books. And they sent me a bill for a book that I had to have for a class, and it was the wrong book. So they sent my money back, but not all of it.
Yeah.
And I said, what's going on? And they said they got to keep some kind of, I don't know. It was something stupid, and I was kind of upset about that. So they had most of my money, and I had to send some more money up there for a different book for their mistake. because they told me I had to buy the wrong book, and I had to send petty stuff like money orders up there for tuition and room and board, and it wasn't a big fee or nothing like that. But and then they told me I had the wrong dorm because it's a special program I'm in, and you stay in a different dorm than everybody else because of this program, and they assigned me to the wrong dorm, and I had to go up there and straighten stuff out. And Ohio State is like 2.5 hours away from here. I had to take 2 trips up there. It was just little petty stuff. It got on my nerves and everything, but it really don't matter because I know that's just part of college. That's just part of life growing up, whatever. But pretty much finance, money, how to handle your money. Because if you don't have a scholarship, it's gonna be hard. Because I know a lot of kids that's going up there, they don't have a scholarship, and their parents can't afford some of the things. Some of them don't even eat. I mean, they get food from their friends, or they have their mother send food up there because they can't pay for that, but they can pay for their books or something like that. And I see that's hard on them, and I don't want that to happen.
Well, I want you to know, first of all, that I'm very proud of you. I'm glad that you decided to go to Ohio State. I'm glad you feel like education, there's always something out there that you got to go to a high level. I just wish you much success in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello. Right now, we're visiting with Darkis Anderson and Deborah Williams. These are two of our adult supervisors for exposed in the college tour.
Okay.
All right. My camera's sliding. Can you tell? It ain't made before.
Told you that's one. Okay.
All right. Again, we're meeting with Deborah Williams and Darkis Anderson, two of our adult supervisors for exposed in the college tour, and we're just going to have a quick impromptu session on what do they think about exposed in the college tour.
Okay. Let's see. I think exposed is very essential for the growth of the young people here in Cincinnati. And the college tour is excellent because it exposed them to different black universities throughout the United States.
And Ms. Williams, I mean, this is your first year with us, and you had an opportunity to see how we're doing things. I mean, what do you think were the positives about what we did, and then the negatives?
Oh, there's no negatives. No, really, I think the program is good to prepare the kids for college, not just college, but life period, the different exercises you did with them. So that you know what to expect and apply to colleges, even for a job. The tour is great, because I graduated in but had to have something like that. I think I could have appreciated it. No, but really, I'm serious. You know, because now that I think back, a lot of schools that I got, letters and things from, I had no clue. Like, why would I want to go there? Right. And had I known, would have been there rather than Cincinnati.
Exactly. And I guess that's one of the things that I try to put into the tours, because I know that's how I was. I mean, when I got ready to go to college, my parents never talked about college. They always talked about the military. I mean, you just graduated from high school, please, son.
And that was it.
But I don't know, it was something inside of me that just kept pushing me forward, and I did do it. So once I got to that point, and I started seeing other young kids that really had no clue what was going on, I'm like, somebody need to tell them, because everybody's not going to be quite as fortunate as I was. So, that was interesting. So that's how we started that. But I mean, Deborah, for you now, this is real interesting, because since the day you came in, I've been trying to kind of gauge you, and just, I'm serious. I've been watching you, because the first time when I talked to you, you said, can you bring your niece? And I was like, yeah, it's fine. And you came with your niece and you stayed. And I was like, uh-oh. And you brought your nephew, and you stayed. And I was like, oh, what's going on? She's just trying to check us out, see if she's going to bring her niece again. And then the next week you came and you stayed. I mean, and you continued. And then we changed locations and you came, and I asked you about the college tour and you came. And even now that your niece is a senior, I mean, you're still coming. And so that actually, I would think, speak highly of the program and what we're trying to do here. But I mean, I appreciate that, because whether you know it or not, you've been an inspiration to me. You pushed me to do more and to work harder, because I say, okay, now, I mean, Darkis I know, and everybody else I know, but Ms. Williams I don't know. And I need to make sure I impress her, because if I can continue to impress her, then we'll be going somewhere. And I mean, you still coming. I mean, even to the day, you're still coming, so that means that we must be doing
There's some
something.
value in it.
Exactly, yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't. Do other things
Exactly, exactly.
So it's a good program.
Thank you. I'm glad you say that. You're gonna remember that response sooner or
No, it
later.
really is.
You know?
I'm serious.
Okay.
He said, but I think one thing Deborah did say, and I ain't that much older than you, Clarence,
Okay.
because Clarence is 30 something. But I think it helps break stereotypes about black schools. Because I know my mother wanted me to go to school, but she didn't want me to go to black school.
Right.
So it helps break that stereotype that black schools are not good enough. Because it teaches students more about education. It's about accepting who you are and preparing them for greater challenges.
Right. And you know, and the other thing I think is interesting, I mean, and I've even learned to look for a little more in colleges, because I mean, really it doesn't matter what college you go to, you need to find out what the college is going to do for you, you know, because I mean, I know some schools you go to, I mean, career placement programs are like obsolete at their college. And it's like, okay, now you're going to go there and you're going to spend all your money going to school, and they're not going to place you in a job after it's over with. And I found out that you can leave after graduation and get on at a company and make $40,000, $50,000, but if you wait a year after graduation, then you're down to $20,000, $25,000, and that was something that was shocking for me. So I am just happy, and I'm glad that y'all working with me, and I appreciate y'all time,
Okay.
and y'all have a nice day.
Well, thank you, Mr. Claire. 37 years old.
Get transferred.
Okay, when you